Greetings. I'm Richard Walker, and I affiliated with Home Choice Network, and they have asked that I take a few moments to identify who I am and explain my professional background. However, before we get started, I would like to first identify more specifically about Home Choice Network. This is a local home care agency which has been in existence for over 17 years. We are proud when we state we believe in independence for seniors and peace of mind for families. We are licensed by the state of North Carolina and registered by the Department of Health and Human Services out of Raleigh, North Carolina. We take pride in professionally training our caregiving staff, and we have a registered nurse on site that is directly supportive to all our clients. Now, what about me? Who am I? Well, first, I would like to identify that I retired from the medical field after more than 30 years. I began my medical career while majoring in allied health at Indiana University and actively became a laboratory technologist while serving my country during the Vietnam War, which I served while stationed in Incheon, Korea. Incheon is the area where General MacArthur made the famous landing during the Korean War and divided the northern and southern troops during that time and allowed us to push the communist and Chinese troops back to the 38th parallel, which is about 40 some miles from Seoul, the capital of North Korea. Korea was a combat zone during the Vietnam War as well. Presently, I am writing a book regarding my many experiences in life entitled Tales, Travels, and Topics. However, I would like to point out that my professional career not only took me to the pathology laboratory in the medical field, but led me to several years into marketing and sales. My last career of longevity was with the International Safety Instrument Company out of Atlanta, Georgia, where I became a regional manager for 5 southern states, which also included safety equipment training at NASA. You know, life is what you make it. And as Robert Frost expressed in the last verse of his famous poem, The Road Not Taken, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. My life's journey began on a Sunday morning around 10 a.m., May 31st, 1942. And my mother at that time gave birth to me, her 3rd child. My parents had chosen their road of destiny to be on a dairy farm in Lebanon, Indiana. However, in due time, we relocated to another farm, and I was raised on a dairy farm in Crawfordsville, Indiana. Crawfordsville is known as the Athens of the West because of the location of Wabash College. It was on this farm that I learned the value of strong work ethics, responsibility, and family. Later in life, my chosen road of travel was to take me to Indiana University, the military, the medical field, and travels to both Europe and Asia, which included 12 countries. Some roads can diverge more than once, and for me, that has made all the difference. Tales, Travels, and Topics can be considered a genealogical record or autobiography, the discovery of new and exciting adventures, as well as philosophical and academic topics of interest. 5 months before my birth, the United States had entered World War II on the day that would live in infamy, December 7th, 1941. 4 days after my arrival, On May 31st, 1942, the United States had its first victory in the Pacific, considered a turning point for the Pacific War, known as the Battle of Midway on June 4th, 1942. World War II brought the world out of the Great Depression, but at a devastating cost of millions of lives. The world left the old status quo of European and Asian powers and brought forth the atomic age and Cold War of the 1950s. And I remember the various news media stressing the concern for an atomic attack from perhaps Soviet Russia at that time when I was just a child going to school locally, which included, by the way, the Cold War included the Iron Curtain in Europe, NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the United States facing off with Russia and the world communism. I learned many years ago that it is always best to know where you have been as well as where you plan to go. This is why I like family genealogy. Where did my genes come from and or have been? And I have discovered through genealogical study that genetically, I have, on my mother's side of the family, traced back to the 1400s, and on my father's side of the family, back to the 1500s. It was back in England in the 1500s and back into France on the 1400s of my mother's side of the family. What I have learned from my travels and why do I have my own special philosophy that I have today? Well, it has taken me a lifetime of 79 years to discover who I am, and I still discover there are new surprises. Life, as I said, is what you make it. And as long as I can continue to move forward, I plan to enjoy my life and to go forward. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.